ExpressVPN has become a top competitor in the VPN industry, and for good reason. Today, I'm here to have an exclusive interview with ExpressVPN's chief architect, Peter Membry, to talk about some new key features surrounding Lightway. First of all, Peter, thank you so much for joining us. So tell me, what's new with Lightway?
So Lightway is a very interesting innovation for us. So most people have been using things like either OpenVPN previously, and some people have been moving to WireGuard. Lightway is kind of new and different in that we specifically designed it for a VPN consumer platform with security, privacy, and performance in mind. So we didn't take something off the shelf and then adapt it to our needs. We sat back and thought, well, what do we really need for this sort of platform? What really makes a difference? What will users really enjoy? And how can we make the best possible experience? And so Lightway was designed from scratch, and it was designed specifically to meet ExpressVPN's needs to provide an exceptional service to our customers.
Okay, and so what needs exactly are going to be met that's different than what you're already running on ExpressVPN?
So right now, our default protocol has been OpenVPN, and that has served us extremely well. We've done a lot with it. It's kind of paved the way. But OpenVPN was designed in a very different era. Back then, you would have a PC on a desk. It'd be connected with a cable, possibly even a modem. And things have changed. And OpenVPN, as good as it is, it's really not something that you can easily extend. And so what we started looking at was, well, needs have changed, right? These days, the big challenge is, mobile devices, iPhones, Android devices, and so on. And that's kind of where you feel a VPN the most, right? So if you've got a desktop and you hit connect, you can open it, you can, flip to another browser window, or you can check your email. At some point, you get a pop-up that says, hey, I'm connected. You don't really feel any of the delay there. When you're on a mobile device, though, and you press the button and you watch it spin, you're very conscious of the time it takes. And normally you want to get into the app, press the button, get out of the app, and you really feel it. Even if it only takes a second or 2 seconds, you really feel that. And of course, you have the same challenge when, just living your life through mobile, right? Every time at home, you might be using Wi-Fi, then you go outside and you switch to cellular. You lose a bit of signal, you go from 5G to 4G and then back again to the office. Now you've got Wi-Fi back. Get in the elevator, now it's dropped out, now it's going back. All these things are very different to the use case that OpenVPN was designed to solve. So when we designed Lightway, it was very much with the mobile first mindset. The idea being that if we make this amazing on mobile, then it'll just be fantastic on desktop. We don't even need to worry about that. If we can get it working on mobile devices that have limited power and limited bandwidth, if we can make that awesome, when you run it on a PC or a laptop, it's going to be great. So that's really where Lightway has been focused. And some of the things we have for that is connection speed. So for example, 50% of users at the moment, these users who've opted in to share analytics with us so that we can do basic debugging and so on, they connect to Lightway in less than a second. And most of our users also connect in less than about 2.5 seconds. This is an interesting statistic because a lot of users don't connect to servers that are close to them. They connect to places on the other side of the world. And so obviously, the speed of light kind of gets in the way. We can only go as fast as physics. But in general, the connection speed is pretty much instant. It's also much faster. The same analytics show that these users are experiencing double the throughput that they were experiencing on OpenVPN. Connections are more stable because it's designed for mobile. We're not kind of twisting it around to try and make it work in that environment. We're finding connections that are lasting on average about 40% longer than they were of OpenVPN. So one of the interesting things that we found, particularly in testing, is a lot of our guys who've been testing this, they've actually had to put the what is my IP page as their homepage, because this thing is so fast, you just can't tell it's on. And so they constantly open a new tab to check that, yep, it's still connected. It hasn't disconnected me when I wasn't looking. So what Lightwave is really going to give you is an amazing experience on mobile. The idea being you hit connect and you just forget about it. You don't even need to worry about being on the VPN. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to think about turning it on or turning it off. Basically, it gets out of your way, and you just get on with your life and do the things that you do.
Okay, so you've mentioned that Lightwave has been built to work with ExpressVPN. Coming in with this new software, you have to gain the trust of individuals again. Why should we, as users, trust Lightwave?
So Lightwave was designed by ExpressVPN for ExpressVPN, but even though we have an amazing track record in security, and we've done the same with Trusted Server, we've had it audited, and we've shared that with everyone. With Lightwave, we're not asking you to trust us. So Lightwave itself, we're releasing it open source. In fact, it's already available. It's on our GitHub page. It comes batteries included. We provide an example server and client for people to play with. Everything that anyone needs to build a basic VPN server there, it's all available. We've also done a number of audits, the key one being an audit by Cure53. They've done in-depth penetration testing and code analysis, and have given us a clean bill of health. That audit will also be made available. And again, as it's open source, anyone who wants to look at it is welcome to do so. In fact, we would encourage it. We would really like to get some engagement around this new protocol. And with this sort of approach to open source and transparency, we feel that we've kind of kept the openness there, right? Anybody who is interested in that side of things can go and look. And so now we're bringing it on par with, say, WireGuard.
Not expecting someone to trust you, but giving them the option to go in and see exactly what you're doing. I think that builds trustworthiness and an entirely different approach. And it's very unique. And I think that that's a very quick way to gain someone's trust and respect for your company and your tools.
Yeah, I mean, we're very good at what we do. I mean, people who've worked on Lightwave, this is their passion. This is what they love creating. Mm-hmm. But we've also know what we're not great at, right? So you've heard the old adage, don't roll your own crypto, right? You should never do that. And we haven't. So whereas WireGuard created their own cryptography, we've used a library called Wolf SSL, and that's an open source SSL library. It's been BIP certified for government use. And we've basically taken that library and used that as our core. So anything that involves the encryption side of things, the authentication side of things, that's all done by Wolf SSL. It's not done by us. And we've had Wolf SSL look at our code and check that, yes, we're using that code correctly. We haven't made any, there's no oversight there. It's set up as it should be. And I think this is kind of key to our message. We're not coming across saying, well, we're the professionals. We built something. It's good for you. You must trust us. What we've built, we're really proud of. But we really think this helps everybody's privacy, right? It's not just us, which is one of the reasons why we're open sourcing it. So not only can people look at the code, but maybe other people will adopt it and start building, their platforms on Lightwave. In fact, we would love to see that. We would really like to see, the industry kind of rally around this, mostly because the other protocols that are kind of, in the next gen sort of arena, like WireGuard, they're not designed for this. WireGuard is great at what it does. I use it myself personally for a few things, but one thing it's not great at is privacy. It wasn't meant to be. And so if you want it to work and be private, you've got to fiddle, you've got to make changes. And if you don't do those changes right, if there's any kind of oversight or mistake, it's going to cause you some grief, shall we say. And it's very hard to know with these sorts of things if you've made that mistake or not. It might look perfectly fine, but when an expert comes along, maybe they find something that you overlooked, and so you have a problem. And I think with Lightwave, because it does all of this out of the box, the way it works is similar to OpenVPN. So anyone who's built or run an OpenVPN platform will have absolutely no trouble running Lightwave. And there's no more extras to do. You don't need to, tweak it or modify it. If you're building a VPN platform, it's just going to work out of the box for you. So we really hope that people will, be excited by this and want to adopt it. And yeah, we really hope to build an open community around it.
Switching to ExpressVPN a little bit as a whole, what does ExpressVPN do that some of its other competitors can't?
Well, I think one of the main things that we have that we can offer is pretty much our innovation and the passion we bring to what we do. We're kind of obsessed with privacy. We're kind of obsessed with performance, and solving real world problems for real people is kind of what gets us up in the morning. We create technology, so whereas many people take stuff off the shelf and retrofit it or adapt it, we don't assimilate technology. We actually design and create it. So we have Trusted Server, which is our in-memory operating system. We started using that, I think, back in 2019. And various other players in the industry, they've now started to follow our lead. But one thing we definitely offer that no one else can is, of course, lightweight. And one of the claims to fame that lightweight can make is that, unlike any other protocol on the planet, lightweight was specifically designed for a secure, private, high-performance VPN consumer network, right? It wasn't something we just got off the shelf. We designed it specifically for this. So whereas if you're using, say, WireGuard and you have to make some adaptations to make it kind of fit with your privacy requirements, with lightweight, that's not a problem. Out of the box, it does exactly what you need. So we're not trying to retrofit other people's software and trying to kind of make it do what we need. We're just making it from the ground up, so it does everything out of the box.
That's great. Yeah, you really like to see those organizations that, you feel a bit better knowing that this is coming directly from them. This has been built by them for you. It's not been retrofitted, like you mentioned. So my last question for you, Pete, just a pretty broad topic. Why should people use VPNs?
I think these days, using a VPN before you go online is just good internet hygiene, right? Like, you always wash your hands before you prepare food, and you should always turn on a VPN before you connect to the internet. It's just how the world's kind of evolved. And the reason for that, really, or one of the reasons, even if you're not particularly fussed about things like privacy, like, well, I don't do anything that's anybody would care about. Why would I want a VPN? Why would I spend that? And the thing is, your personal information, the data that can be mined just from your browsing traffic, it's worth an awful lot of money in the right hands or wrong hands, depending on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like in some countries, ISPs are allowed to sell your browsing traffic. Even if you're just browsing Facebook, that's your business. That shouldn't be anyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And a VPN protects you there. If you're in, for example, a coffee shop and you're on the public Wi-Fi, it may be that there are no malicious users on there, but there could be. And if you're connected to ExpressVPN, you're kind of protected from that sort of attack as well. So there's a whole host of attacks that ExpressVPN defends you against, or at least limits the impact or changes how your system is kind of protected from it. So you don't have to worry constantly about, well, is my traffic being looked at? Are there hackers on this network? The idea being, you turn this on, you get the green light, you're protected, and you can just go about your life, right? So for me, the VPN is all about freedom, the freedom to do what you want to do online without somebody constantly looking over your shoulder or being able to look over your shoulder, and just see things that they shouldn't, or even just being nosy, right? We put up fences against our neighbors so that they don't come in and stare over. Even if it's completely innocent, that's your business. It's no one else's, and a VPN helps keep it that way.
I really like that analogy of having the fence around your house for that privacy. a VPN does that for your phone. You don't want someone snooping in on your personal life, so why would you want them snooping in on your online digital life? Pete, thank you so much. This has been incredibly helpful. Obviously, VPNs are really the way that we should be going right now. You should be turning this on, surfing the internet, and feeling safe as you're doing so. So thank you so much. And as always, for all things ExpressVPN and what VPNs are in general, be sure to stick with ZDNet. Thanks so much for watching.